cover today. We're going to look at using smart insulin pens with the diasend platform and how to register the data to a specific patient. We're going to look at the ways of uploading data, both in clinic and at home, and also how to analyze this data from the smart pens and the multiple reports that are available, as well as where you can go to for more support and guidance with using these devices. So first of all, we have the smart insulin pens themselves. You can see those displayed on screen here, and we're going to cover how these can be used with the diasend platform to really get the most out of those pens and the data that they provide. Now, the diasend platform is made up of multiple different parts. We have in the top left here the transmitter. Now, this is obviously sat within clinics, and it provides a fantastic hub for the uploading of device data across all types of diabetes devices. It has connectivity via cable, infrared, Bluetooth, NFC, really providing a broad range of device compatibility. Next, as we see here in the bottom left, we have the mobile app. Now, smart pens can be used alongside the mobile app with patients uploading at home to provide really the maximum level of connectivity. For the other devices that a patient may be using where uploads need to be done via a cable, we also have the uploader, which can be put on a desktop computer and allows for uploading of data at home. Now, for the devices which connect via a third-party app, we also have multiple connections with these third-party apps, as shown here on screen. And all of these 4 data sources feed into the main diasend platform, where we have the data visualized in a mixture of reports and charts that provide maximum information and really guide a consultation and give plenty of discussion points between a clinician and their patient. First of all, we're going to cover using smart insulin pens at home, how patients would upload this data and the process that they would follow. So first of all, a patient needs to get the diasend mobile app, and they would do this by going to the iOS or Android App Store and downloading the app for free. You can see the diasend app icon here displayed on screen, and we have a visual of the reports and some of the data that is available once they open that app. Once they've uploaded their device data, you'll see that they get a mixture of continuous reports here, pie charts, and other useful information to really give them greater insights into their diabetes management. When uploading data from a smart connected pen, they would follow the instructions on screen here. They're going to navigate to the Upload tab, and they're going to click Start Upload, and then at that point, as seen here in the visual, they'll be placing that pen to the back of their smartphone. And at this point, the upload would be initiated, and they would get a progress wheel showing how far through the upload they were. I'm going to show you a video of that now, what the patient would actually see on screen, and the following screens afterwards. So here you'll see that the patient would then navigate to the Upload tab at the bottom of the screen, select NFC, Start Upload, and place their pen to their smartphone. Once the upload is complete, they would select the type of insulin that is being used within their pen and click Done. After the upload is complete, they're then able to share data with our partner Novo Nordisk for the purpose of product development and research. Sharing of data is optional. They can either accept or decline, and that will have no impact on the availability of data within the diasend platform. They can also then withdraw their consent to share data at any point by going to the Privacy tab within the menu. Once data is within the platform, you'll see that it is then visualized within the diasend app as seen here. We can see both short-acting and long-acting insulin doses when uploaded from their specific smart pens. Now we're going to cover the in-clinic solution. Here you'll see that the in-clinic solution really revolves around the use of the glucose transmitter. This fantastic bit of kit used within the clinic really provides the maximum level of connectivity. As I previously said, we have the NFC pad on the top of the transmitter visualized here. And when the smart pens are placed on top of that transmitter, you'll get the initiation of the upload. What you're looking for is to wait for the ready to transfer screen seen here. And at that point, you would place the pen on top of the transmitter, the upload would start, and we would see a progress wheel showing how far through the upload we are. Once the upload is complete, we'll get a green screen that will show that the upload has been successful. Once the data is within the diasend platform, you will see that it is first assigned to the serial number of the device. To find the serial number of the smart pen, you would wind up the plunger as seen here in the visual, and you would then be able to see the serial number, which is encircled here by the orange box. Now, once that data is within the platform, we're then going to want to register it to a specific patient. To do this, there are several mandatory fields that are required. For instance, the type of insulin, the date of birth and the gender of the patient, their type of diabetes and the year of onset, as well as their email. And the reason for this is that after registration, the patients will receive an email asking if they would like to share some of their pseudo-anonymized data with Novo Nordisk, again for the purpose of supporting research and product development. As said previously, this process is voluntary, and if patients do not agree to share data, they can still view pen data with their clinician, and they can withdraw this consent at any point. It is worth noting that the patient's name, clinic, and email are not shared with Novo Nordisk. Now we're going to go into a live demo of the system where I'm going to talk you through some of the reports that are available and how we can use the data during a consultation. Here we can see the login screen on diasend.com as well as our clinic's credentials. So once we sign in, you'll see that we are taken to the clinic screen showing today's clinic, and we have some uploads of smart pens already. What I'm going to do is check the box here at the end and select the device, and then I'm able to either save this to an existing patient or create a new patient. If we're selecting an existing patient, we can select them from the list or the search box above. When creating a new patient, we are then presented with the form seen here on screen. We can see those mandatory fields that I spoke about earlier, which we will complete with the patient's information. And then as we scroll down, we see the insulin pen section here, where we're able to select the type of insulin that the patient is using within this pen. Finally, during the registration process, we need to make sure that we have the patient's consent to save their data within the diasend platform. And then finally, we will click Save My Information. Now it's at this point that an email would be triggered to the patient where they would then be asked if they would like to share data with Novo Nordisk. They can choose to opt in or withdraw their consent at a later date. By default, a patient is not opted in to sharing data. Once a patient's data is now within the platform and we have all of their insulin data from their device, we can view that in a number of reports by going to the Patient tab and navigating to a specific user. For this demonstration, I'm going to use our demo user as seen here. And you'll see on the summary screen, we have a mixture of different data sources. We have CGM data showing the number of results that are sitting in the very high to very low categories. And we can see more information by clicking the information symbol here, showing the brackets with each of those categorizations. In the table below, we're able to see the bi-hourly periods and their control throughout the day. This is really useful for finding areas of the day where a patient is struggling with control or really exceeding expectations, and how that fantastic performance can be replicated during other areas of the day. By clicking day by day, we're able to actually look at specific days that a patient has the best control, and perhaps areas where they require further support. You'll see that this useful blood glucose information can be viewed alongside insulin data seen here in the top right of the screen. We're able to view the pie chart, which shows the mixture between the long and short-acting insulin and the proportion they make up of this person's insulin therapy. We can see the average daily dose as a total. We can see the standard deviation in their dosing, and then the average daily dose across both short and long-acting insulins. We can also find the brands of the insulins that they're using next to the pie chart above. Now, by going to the categories at the top of the screen, we can select multiple tabs to look at more detailed reports. For this demonstration, we're going to go to the insulin tab, and you'll see that we start on the day by day. Using the day by day report, we can see very detailed views of each individual day, showing short-acting insulin doses in light blue and long-acting insulin doses in dark blue. You'll see above each column we have the number of units of that particular dose, and by reading along the x-axis we can see the time of day that that dose was given. By looking at the table on the right hand side, we can see more detailed information for each of these injections. We can see the number of units as well as the exact time that this dose was given. In the pie chart above, again, we can see the total number of short-acting insulin units that have been given, as well as the long-acting insulin units as well, and the brands that this patient is using. By looking down the day-by-day report, you can start to see patterns emerging. For instance, this larger long-acting insulin dose in the evening. And you can see breaks from this trend, such as seen here. Now, using this report, we can then look at other trends, such as clusters of short-acting insulin doses. These provide areas of discussion for clinicians and patients. This is incredibly useful as it provides various different areas to explore and really facilitates deeper conversation between both patients and their clinicians. As we click over to the other charts and graphs available within the diasend platform, we can see, for instance, the dose overview provides a bird's eye view of injections across multiple days and allows us to more easily spot patterns and trends. There are limitations to these though, which I'll cover in a second. When you're in the diasend platform, you're also able to access a wealth of support information and resources. You can do this easily by going to the customer support section seen here in the top right. By clicking the customer support button, you'll see that you are brought to our support center. Here we have information for both patients and clinics. By clicking into these sections, you'll see there is a number of different articles and guides showing everything from compatibility to tutorials, and also detailed articles on how to view specific reports within the platform. We also have a very powerful search function in the top of the screen, which will then allow you to identify specific articles relating to areas of interest. This will help to guide and support the uptake of these devices and give you any support needed with interpretation or finding reports of interest. I'll now go back to the presentation and dive into some of the other reports that are available and points that you may want to review in greater detail. So we're going to look at priming doses and air shots. So within the platform, it's possible to see potential priming doses and air shots that are being given using the smart pens. Here on the logbook, you can see that we have larger doses preceded by smaller 2-unit doses. Now, it's possible that these smaller 2-unit doses are air shots or priming doses. You'll see that the 2-unit doses precede larger doses regularly. However, we also have some doses, such as this 8 units here, which are not preceded by a smaller dose. You'll see that it is easy to spot potential priming doses using the logbook. You're also able to see this information in a graphical format by looking at the day-by-day view. Here, you're able to see that with these columns lining up perfectly, it's difficult to see priming doses. However, the 2-unit priming dose, the 2 units, is still visible on the graph, and this may prompt a clinician to look at the table on the right-hand side for more information. When looking at the table, it's clear to see that these 2 doses were taken at the exact same time, and therefore the 2-unit dose that precedes the larger 15-unit dose here is potentially a priming dose. Although this is not the case for every graph within the diasend platform. For instance here, when using the dose overview graph, because of the very short time span between the potential priming dose and the therapy dose, those columns line up perfectly, and therefore it would not be possible to identify a potential priming dose. Next, we have pen alarms. Within the platform, it's possible to see pen alarms that have been recorded via their smart pen. Some of those are displayed here on screen. An example of which would be that the plunger on the pen has not been fully depressed whilst doing an injection. It's something to be aware of, and clinicians can address these with patients to ensure the proper use of their device and make sure they get the maximum benefit from their pen. Thank you for listening.